There are 4 calls. At a minimum, 4 calls you must be making to the people that you care about on a regular basis. Now, this regular basis is annually. This is a short version of what should be happening, and I'm going to do a shameless plug for what I know is the truth. You should be reaching out in some way, shape, or form to the people you're in relationship with, not having a real estate conversation with them at least once a month. And your mission is the same thing I always talk about. Once a month, you should be having a form of communication. I mean, let's call it that, a form of communication. A fuck. No, can't use that term. That's an analysis for it. Yeah, what the hell? You should have a fuck with them. You should fuck with them at least once a month. I think that could stick. The form of communication with them at least once a month. Are you fucking with the people that matter to you? I'm going to write that down. Karen, you're going to hear that again. Hey, did you fuck today?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, cool. I have that locked in. Here's the thing. You should do that at least on a monthly basis. And here's why. It's not about real estate. In fact, there's nothing that I talk about, I preach, I swear by, I know works. Nothing in this conversation is a real estate related conversation. It's about them. It's about relationship. Now, when I'm talking about fucking, I'm talking about a phone call, which is usually predicated by, I saw something they did on social media, or I was something that was of interest to me that I knew they'd be interested in. And it's a coming from contribution, bragging on them and saying, oh my God, that's impressive, and asking them to share what's going on in their world. And it can be done via text, although I do not advise that. Particularly initially, you have to make the call. But if you do that once a month, that is your everyday job. Your everyday job is to talk to the people that matter the most to you. Now, a lot of us have not done that and don't do that, and probably don't have their top 150 or 200 people, or even 50. Jackie and I have 74 people we communicate with, 74. It was 76 last month. We found 2 people that we didn't really want to talk to. We both like, nah, I'm not going to call them. I don't like them anymore. They're not aligned with my values. So we have 74. I think I have 37 and Jackie has whatever the balance is. That's who we call on a monthly basis. We never talk real estate. Okay. This is the most important thing that I'm saying to you right now, is that if you're not talking to the people that already are in relationship with you, you are doing them a disservice, because there's a good chance that somebody else is, and they're creating deeper and stronger relationships that you are about the people you just profess to care about. So why not have a conversation if it's not real estate related? That's the trick. That's how I got you here, by talking about the 4 calls. We're going to cover that, but I'm really here to make sure that you are communicating with the people that are important to you. Now, I'm going to go through in a couple seconds about what commitment looks like. And I want to make sure we dive into that in just a second. But right now, I'm going to finish up on this. You should make a phone call every day, probably 4 or 5 people a day, with a singular purpose of making their day better, letting them know that you care, that you're interested in their well-being. That's database 101. In just a couple seconds, we're going to talk about the 4 times you make a real estate call in there. So think about it. It's 2 calls that are personal, 1 call that's kind of a business call, 2 calls that are personal, 1 call that's a business call. Now, I'll show you what these business calls are, because they're really very, very easy calls to make, because it's all about contribution or inquiring what's their priority. But I want to talk about commitment. And for that, I'm going to shift over to a conversation about something we're all familiar with, and that's open houses. Now, I'm a personal believer that if you focus on your database and on open houses, you're going to have a very small financial burden, how much money it costs you to generate your business. And it's going to be a very controllable, you're in charge lifestyle. Now, this doesn't mean that's the only options. These are just default options that come in. Think about this. If you did 20 weekends of open houses, Fridays or Saturdays and Sundays, and door knocking on Thursdays and Fridays, you did that 20 weekends, Tony, I'm going to call on you, T, just because I know you've got the experience. I know you've done this, but if you do a weekend of open houses, is it reasonable to expect that through good follow-up as well, but through that process, that if you pick the right property and you have the right signage available, is there a good chance you're going to get at least one closing from that weekend of open house work?
Oh, yeah, including the follow-up you just mentioned.
Yeah, including the follow-up. It doesn't happen right away. All right, awesome. Thank you, T. Now, T's got a lot of experience. He's an icon agent, which means he and his wife, I mean, they're stellar. They're very, very good. Thank you for the answer, and thank you for participating in this. I appreciate it. Folks, what I'm getting to is that if you're going to do it, and you're going to do it the right way, there's going to be a lot of business involved in it. Now, think about this. Your initial output is probably $500 or $600, and let's say $1,000 over the course of the year is your output if you have your primary lending partner paying for your sign spinner, because we're going to cover that in just a second. This is not a call about open houses. This is a call about commitment and about doing the right thing. But we have $1,000 investment, let's say $2,000 investments for what's going to generate probably 20 closings. So at $10,000 per closing, the average commission that's currently being offered, I'm using a round number, perhaps it's less, you're spending $2,000. That is less than 1%. So for everybody here, imagine if you did this. Imagine for every dollar that came in from real estate transactions, you did one of two things. You paid 10% to yourself towards a marketing campaign, and you put 10% towards taxes because you have to pay them. Now that's 20% right off the top that goes away. Here's what I'm here to tell you. You will not miss the 20%. Your taxes are paid for. You never have to worry about it. And as your business grows, you're going to have to pay quarterly taxes. It's nice to have that and not say, oh, crap, I need a closing for it because you save it. And you're paying yourself 10% for your marketing budget. Back to what I was talking about with the open houses. Now, I want you guys to pretend that this is an analysis. It is. It's an analysis, not of an open house. It's really going to be about our database, but I think it's easier for everybody to see. I've got two options. I can place a sign in front of the house, and I can place a sign at the end of the community, and I can probably place a sign at the road a mile away because I didn't pick a good house. This is open house, open house, open house. And by the time somebody actually walks through the open house, I am so freaking bored. I don't even have energy for them. And I'm not getting my 20 closings from doing it. I just sat here and I didn't do anything. And I set up the house. I mean, I do have I bought cookies and they're in the kit, but nobody came in. When they did come in, they came in and they walked right back out. They didn't even talk to me. Show of hands, people I can see. If you did an open house like that, would you expect that would probably beat the crap out of you? And that wouldn't be, by the way, Claire, if we are talking about forms of commitment, it's called fucking. Okay. I'm sorry, I had to throw that out there for Claire because I know she's going to call me if I say that. Have you fucked today? I didn't come up with this, Claire. This wasn't me. This was brought to me by the ladies on the call. I had nothing to do with it, but that's the acronym for it. There we go.
And I put my heart out. Try to stop me when I put my heart.
Patrice.
But you did to me.
I'm gonna mute her. I just couldn't help. That was awesome. She's pretty really voice there too. We'll let it go. Bravo. I think I said this, Natrice, that was excellent singing. Thank you very much. We did get to hear that. Folks, what I'm getting at is that form of commitment to extraordinary is going to fail. When we're talking about your people that love you already, is your commitment to extraordinary putting a sign in the corner, putting a sign here and kind of getting bored? Or is it putting 50 signs, a sign spinner that your lender pays for, that there are signs coming into the house to get to the front yard? There's signs everywhere. You got a feather banner, part of that initial $1,000 or $500 investment. You've got pop-up signs all over the place. Hold on. There are honey look boards everywhere. In fact, you're so committed to it, you even got big ass honey look boards showing up. This is an experience. The cookies are made. They're phenomenal. I knocked on the doors. I am having an ice cream truck because I've sold 2 homes in here. I bought all the neighbors to come by, and I'm gonna blow this up. I'm gonna make it the most amazing. I've got my clipboards. I know what to say. I've rehearsed and I practiced what I'm doing. Who thinks that I'm gonna have more success in an open house that I put a lot of time and effort into creating? I can duplicate very easily. That's going to produce a heck of a lot more than 3 signs and an attitude. Agreed? Thumbs up if you agree with me. Y'all better. Okay. This is commitment. What's your commitment to your database? Now, it's easy to see that with open houses because you're like, oh my God, I got that. But with your database, with the people that already know you, like you, and trust you, because that's what today's call is about. And I'm going to give you 4 calls you can make on a quarterly basis. But I want to challenge you again. Don't do the 1 sign open house mentality. Do the 50 sign spinner, ice cream truck, huge event mentality with your database. These people already love you. You're already in relationship. They know you. They're past clients, or they're not. They're friends and family that trust you. There's a whole spectrum of conversations to be had around the database and what to do. In fact, there's a class that'll get you started. And this is something that we're going to go into deeply right after summer. And the reason for it is I want everybody to focus on their business right now. Database should be part of it. The class will get you going. If you want a little more on that, we will definitely do it. It's up to you. This is not a casual sport. The people that are successful are doing the things that they probably don't want to do on a regular basis. And they're never satisfied that they're done. I had a conversation this morning between 6 and 7:30 with a very dear friend of mine who worked with me for years, and I consider him a great friend. And he said, George, I'm really thinking of, I think I'm gonna have to join a team. I said, why? So, well, I'm just not doing it. I said, what are you doing? And he said of his own volition, he goes, I'm doing everything and I'm not doing anything. I'm chasing squirrels everywhere. So what about your database? Well, I try and write at least 5 notes a day, or 5 notes a week, 1 a day. So that's not database management. That's putting 1 sign in the front yard and 1 sign at the street corner. And he's trying this, he's trying that, he's trying everything. I'm suggesting the database is going to be part of your business. You might as well adopt it right now. And that's why this is a conversation for anybody who's in real estate. Will Matthews, you've been doing this for years. I know your success. You're probably, and I'm not picking on Will, and I saw his name, so I had to bring it out there. He's probably, and we're probably not focusing on our database at the level where it is. Hey, Delania, good to see you, my friend. How are you? At the level, sorry, I haven't seen her in a while. I got to scrunch her hair every time I do because she's got the best hair in the world. We're not doing it at the level that we should be. So at a minimum standard, I'm going to give you 4 conversations in which to have that you can have with your database. I tell you this. They are, yes, Tim, you're absolutely right. They are nowhere near as important as the other conversations, which are all about them. So let's jump into it. There's 4 calls that you should have with your database on an annual basis. Everybody in your database, and it's a phone call. Now, a lot of times, I'm giving you a little prep. They're not going to answer the phone because you haven't built up enough emotional relationship with them where you could call them and they actually answer. They haven't heard from you enough and know that you care about them above everything else. So please understand these 4 calls, while really important, work very well. This is the ice cream truck, the 50 signs, the sign spinners, the over the top. I'm doing everything amazing. They work very well if you focus on your database and give it the over the top energy it desires. And for the record, you only need to have 2 areas of lead generation that if you focus on it and you say, I am committed to making these amazing, you will have success. And Claire, because you have led so many teams and really helped and motivated and coached so many people, I do want to ask you for your input, if you don't mind. If somebody focuses on 2 lead generation platforms, whatever they may be, and they give it real effort, not just, I'm going to do at least 10 open houses this year, but I don't know when. Probably never, but but if they're focused and they've got a plan and they're really committed to it, what can they expect as far as results? A failure or success? And can you validate that?
They will have, thank you, George. They will have more success than what they realize. And here's the kicker. If you have a business plan in front of you and you have it quantitatively, strategically placed, there is no failure. So when you're doing your business plan in your strategies, if you're making sure, okay, I want to do 10 open houses, that's great. However, how many closings do you want out of those 10 open houses? Then it's easier. So if you get strategically specific, you will not fail. And also you can check the box each day to know that you've worked on each of those pillars, those 2 that you're focused on, or 3. This way your tank doesn't run out, because you see that your actions, not your efforts. Sorry, George, I'm going to correct you. Your actions on that business plan are quantitatively correct, committed, and you are gauging your daily, weekly, monthly, and then the annual part comes to fruition, if that makes any sense.
Crystal clear. And now remember, Claire has really no pedigree. It's not like she's coached thousands of agents, run major offices, developed teams and people, provided motivation, and in some cases, probably some very, very candid, forthright, straightforward conversations about failures. So I'm not going to put a lot of weight into what she says, which is a bunch of crap. She's highly qualified. Please listen to what she just said. And you're right. It's not, you switched it. It was effort that matters. Is that correct? Effort is no, sorry. What was it? I love that part.
Effort is something that you choose to put into. However, your actions matter more. Because we all know mindset, skill set, actions equal results. It doesn't say mindset, skill set, efforts. My efforts is to, do my devotion every day. My action is I do my devotion every day. So it's that mindset switch of that subtle corrections that matter. It may resonate better for you as efforts. It resonates in me as action.
That was amazing fucking forms of communication. Yeah, I'm sorry. Action. Folks, let's go into it. Here's the 4 calls. Number 1 call. Claire, can I role play with you? Would that be all right?
Sure.
This is a referral of vendors. Hey, Claire, it's George. How are you?
Hey, George, what's happening?
Hey, listen, first off, I saw you and your husband did some work on the dock. That looks really cool. Fantastic. Compliment to Claire. Congratulations. I think that's going to be awesome. Do me a favor, post a picture again of how it looks now, because everybody should see that. It's pretty cool. Would you do that? Yeah, I just had to see it as well. But what I'm saying is, tell her post something on social media. I stalk Claire because she's a very good friend of mine. She's one of my smaller group, and I want to make sure I know it. Hey, Claire, this is actually kind of a business call. I have very possibly the best vendors for almost every single trade out there. And I wanted to make sure, I know you guys just finished your doc, but if you ever need something, I want you to call on me, and I will recommend to you somebody who's great at what they're doing to help you out. I do this for my family and friends. I'll gladly help out your friends as well, but I wanted you to know I'm here for you, and I have that information if you need it.
Excellent.
Okay. That's the referral of vendors. Now, obviously, because I am not going to just put in effort, I'm going to put in action. I would obviously follow that up with probably a handwritten note or a text message or a comment on there, something. That's one. You teach people how to refer. That's a quick, easy conversation. The second one, retirement strategy. Okay. Same thing. Claire, if you don't mind, I'm going to just run with you for a couple seconds. I'll get through these and then we can dig into them. Hey, Claire, it's George. How are you?
How are you? I'm doing good.
Great. Thanks for asking. Hey, a conversation came up with a friend of mine a couple of days ago, and it really prompted me, and I started thinking about you. Are you all set in your retirement? And if there's an opportunity there, is there an amount of passive income that you probably don't already have, but you'd like to have going into the time when you and hubby retire? Have y'all planned and strategically built your passive income source for your retirement at the level you're satisfied with?
George, I have no idea what you're talking about. Can you tell me more?
Sure. And I can go into a conversation about that. I appreciate that. And y'all figure it out. This is me saying it off the cuff. This isn't me being massive practice, I'm going to make this not a 1 sign, but a 50 sign ice cream truck sign spinner. I'm going to make sure I have that written down very well. I'm playing it off the top because I wanted to give you the content. So you got referral to vendors, you got retirement strategies. Hey, Claire, it's George again. How are you?
I'm doing good, George. What's up?
This is the number 3 call. Claire, you have a great home. I love your home. I love the dock, but I got to ask you, is this your forever home? Is this where you're going to stay?
It is my forever home, George.
Oh, that's terrific. That's great. And so you don't have to worry about her. But if she said, well, I'm not really sure, the answer she's about to give you, or he's about to give you, is going to be their perfect situation. Well, and this, I'll play it with me. We have a phenomenal home. We added on, we built it. It's our home. It's terrific. Is this our forever home? Absolutely not. I want to be at the beach. I want to see the ocean every single morning, even if I got to walk 3 blocks or closer to the beach, preferably East Coast, because I like watching the sunrise. And you will see my lily white butt at the beach every single day watching the sunrise, particularly when a hurricane's coming. That's my forever home.
So,
And
George,
yes, ma'am.
let's go back to that other call just a second. Even though I said it was my forever home, can I add something of value to everybody on the call?
Please.
Okay, because it's their forever home, it's probably one of the largest assets in their portfolio. So I choose to place myself in a consulting role to say, great, on a semi-annual or annual basis, let's get together to make sure that your house is standing firm in the market so that when it comes to tax season, or if you need to do renovations, you're in a better position so that you can get the maximum tax benefits out of that. Fair enough?
Absolutely. That'd be great, Claire. Thank you so much. For
Great.
that.
So what's the best month for us to get together?
February.
Excellent. So each February before you file your taxes, let's get together. It'll take about 30 minutes one-on-one. I'll meet you at the house. And in the meantime, I want to send you a monthly report to show you what's going on in your neighborhood, because you know what, when you have a forever home, you always have friends and family who want to be close to you. So I want you to have your finger on the market to be able to give them the right information for your area. Fair enough?
Oh my God, you do that for me?
Absolutely. I do it for all of the people that I'm in contact with, whether they've done business with me or not.
Okay, that was awesome. The only thing I would change is exclusivity at the very end. I said it would be my pleasure to do it. I want to do something like this for the people that are important to me.
Excellent.
Oh, cool. I'm in it. But that was extraordinary. So do y'all get the reason that this is what makes GPS work? Growth, partnership, synergy. Lots of fucking goes on here. We fuck all the time. So going to keep that. Just because of reactions, I'm going to keep it. That's it. Even some of the pictures that are just faces, I can see them smirking, going, okay, that's just too much. Let's get on to the next one. The next one is easy. It's some form of an event. Now, I happen to live in Central Florida, and we have all around us, we have food trucks that come out on a monthly basis. The fourth Friday of every month is in Windermere. The fourth Thursday of every month is here in my area, Metro West. So simple phone call. Hey, listen, the food trucks are coming out. We're going to be in this area. I'm going to do it. It could be anywhere. So I, of course, tag my very special people by zip codes. So I know exactly where they live, what zip code, and I'm going to invite them to an event, say something's going on here. It's more the conversation, but what it does is it includes them. You're part of it. Now there's substantially more. You can also do micro parties where now you have 2 events, a very small one for a group of 10, only 5 will show up. And your lender pays for it because there's introductions going on here. And you're putting out a little food and buying maybe 2 or 3 drinks total. It's not a big deal. There are opportunities for more conversations. This is a conversation about something that is topical and timely, where you're inviting an opportunity for them to get together, and it gives you lots of chances for follow-up. Like a picture in social media, tag the people you spoke to, not all 100 of them, but tag some of them. Such fun at the food trucks. Oh my God, it was great. There's a live concert being put on for free. Went to this one. I didn't run into as many of my friends. I tagged a few of y'all. You missed it. Next time we'll do it together. You're inclusive. You're bringing them into something that you're doing that is something you're including them in. It shows and feels of friendship. These are the 4 calls that need to be interspersed in your database management phone calls. I challenge everybody to call your data first, define it, and then reach out to your database at least once a month with something that has nothing to do with real estate. Now, there's more involved in this. There's a mini video that should be done that you send out to everybody in your database, and that's easy to do. It takes about 20 minutes. There's a postcard because everybody in your database should have it. The postcard is an automated thing where you click, download, and send once a month. But this is where action, as Claire spoke of, comes in. Effort to be ready and be set is great, but if it's not on your schedule, your calendar, it's not going to get done. If you employ these 4 calls along with other, Michelle Berto, it's FOC, FOC, not F-Folk. It's not folking. Put that in the comments. I just want to get that clear. It's FOC, it's FOC. You have to get your FOC together. This is great stuff. Claire, don't you love it? I can tell if I'm onto something good by Claire's reaction of, oh my God, he's doing it again. That's my indication that we're warming up to awesome right here. Your long-term success in this industry is going to include, thank you, Claire, your database. Just accept that that's a part of it. Work towards building that right now or rebuilding it. I will tell you, it took me literally 14 years in the business before I paid any attention to my database at all, which is kind of a shame since I sold 5,000 homes the 14 years prior to that. Talk about repeat and referral business. Yeah, I left it. Don't be like George. All right. That's my end all be all. I was going to make this a quick call, and I wanted to open it up for any topic that anybody wants to cover, talk about, dive into. I really want to make this engaged with other people saying, hey, got a question on this. What do I do with this? How should we handle this? Or any suggestions. So let's open it up, or we're going to get you. One more thing. I want to give everybody here permission to not be on these calls. I mean that sincerely, except for tomorrow, because Godfather's back tomorrow, and that'll be awesome. I can't wait to hear the Godfather again. But I want to give you all permission not to be on these calls and be prospecting, be actually building your business. This is a great way to pick up tools that you can put into play, but it's going to take, what's that word I'm looking for? Action, where you take action. And if you're taking action is you're going to be prospecting for your business. If you're calling for sale banners, expires, withdrawn, circle prospecting, you bloody well better not be on these calls. You need to be on the phone. You'd be on the phone at 8 o'clock in the morning until at least 10 in the morning. But when you get done with these calls at 8:30 or at 9 o'clock or 9:30, you can stay in the after party if you want to, but let's be transparent. The after party is great conversation and great social, and everybody needs that sometimes. But I need you to consider that your business requires a schedule that has action in it, and your action should take place hopefully at 8, if not at 9:30. And you must do that first. Database must occur daily. And remember, you're not selling. You're simply letting them know that they're awesome. Claire, I saw your doc. That's amazing. I just had to call. It is tremendous. Claire, we're back at role play one more time. I couldn't believe I saw it on Facebook. Great job. How long did that take you?
2 days.
Holy cow. And was it both of you? You and the pilot did that together? Wow. Did you hire anybody?
No.
Nobody did that. My God, you all put the pylons. That's just unbelievable. So have you had a chance to enjoy it?
Yes.
What'd you do?
I went and sat out there and watched the sunset.
At some point, I'm going to bring over a bottle of margarita or of sangria. And if you don't mind, I may have to join the two of y'all for that. I'll bring over snacks and all, or even just a good sandwich or something. I happen to know that Claire does not drink, so I wouldn't say or is that I'd be proper on that one. Bring over something. But now I'm going to ask her a lot of questions. Well, listen, I just had to call and tell you that was absolutely freaking amazing, Claire. I cannot believe the difference that y'all put into that. Please don't stop putting pictures up like that. And that's it. That's my call. I'm not going to touch you. How's the real estate market? Claire, this is a personal call. I was so moved. I had to call about that. I'll be back in the office in an hour, and I can answer any real estate questions if you have any. Do you?
Not at this time, but I appreciate you asking.
No worries. Again, this is really a personal call and not a business call. I just wanted to reach out and tell you awesome. Please tell hubby that I'm blown away by what y'all did, and it's inspiring me. So thank you very much, Claire. It's great talking to you.
Thanks, George. I'll tell Tommy you said it.
I appreciate that. Action. Almost under a handwritten note. I only talk to 5 people a day. Not really. I talked about 2 people a day that are database related. So y'all consider this. If that's the case, why wouldn't I send her a thank you note? Hey, Claire, really great catching up with you again. I love the doc. Don't stop putting the things on there. Or we're talking about their children, what their children did. Doesn't matter. Ask them questions about them. She did all the answering. Her answers, because we're role playing and it was on this, is short. But usually the answer is like, oh my God, yeah, we did. It was so hot. We're outside. It was great. And we had the best tea and the tea was great. But I have mint. I grow up in my garden. It's right over there. Holy cow, you grow mint in your garden? Yeah, I do. I got this whole garden. It's mint. What else do you have in there? I got this. I got this. I got this. I got this. I do all of this. These are my tomatoes. Look at my, whatever they're called. Okras. Look at the okras I just made. I can't wait to. I was thinking, I had in my mind, I saw them, they're long and thin and they like have saliva in them. Ugh, I don't eat okra. But she's Southern, so she's by law has to eat okra. So I'm going to carry on a conversation. If I ask her questions about what's going on, that mint will turn into okra, turn into the garden, turn into canning, turn into everything else. And we're having this deep conversation because she's a friend of mine.
Okay, George.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to give you a very strategic way to make any of your 4 calls. Make them purposeful. Are you ready? It's a 5-step call.
Is this a fuck?
Well, it's a 5-step call.
Okay. So it's not a form of communication. Okay.
It is a form of communication.
So what you're saying is you're about to tell us about fuck.
I'm about to tell you about the 5-step call. Yes.
She won't say it, folks. I keep trying. I can't get to it. Go ahead.
5 steps. Hello, how are you? Do you have a minute? Number 2, talk about Ford. Grab things like what George said off of Facebook. Number 3, purpose of the call, whether it's business or personal. Ask them questions and tell them the purpose of your call. Then you wrap Ford back around the purpose of your call, what you've learned from them. Thanking them is number 5. And solving whatever issue or staying in connection with them again. 5-step call. So I have done scripts and role play with some of the people on this call on the 5-step call. And the call is very personal, connecting, building the bridge, purposeful, and you're getting business out of it without even asking for business. It is taking a 45-minute conversation down to 5 to 15 minutes, which allows more time to pour into your database with purpose. Did you get all that, George?
I did. And I'm actually typing something up for a request on this as well. What you just covered.
When you take your sales hat off and you're putting your consultation hat on. However, people don't do business with you until they know how much you care and they can learn to love you and trust you. These are the connecting calls with a very quick 5-step process that we can follow that keeps us on track without it sounding scripted.
I'm bringing it back. What you said in there that was more valuable than any, well, that's not fair. What I gleaned as the most slap me in the face part was all spot on, is people won't work with you until they know that you have a relationship with them. Otherwise, you're just selling them as opposed to supporting them. Think about going into CarMax to buy a car. You absolutely know the financial manager is going to show up and there's nobody in there that wears a CarMax sign that you trust because there's no relationship. You know that somebody's going to sell you, but the truth is you need a car, so you're willing to take the least amount of pain with the sale. However, if another car that was exactly the same was sold by a friend of yours without the CarMax warranty, you buy it from them first because that's a more trusted person, all things being even. Claire said very clearly that what we're doing is creating a relationship, and that's database. And it's never a conversation about real estate because they don't need real estate until they bring it up. It's a conversation about them and genuinely being interested, even if you're faking it. Now, I say that because there are going to be people you're going to call that are not going to be great friends of yours for the rest of your life. but they have great value in this world. And that's what you're attaching to. You are awesome. You do charity work everywhere. You are involved with your church. You have amazing faith. You're a great parent. It doesn't matter. There's something in there to key on that makes them feel good. And that, I will challenge everybody, is your ultimate job. Not a schmoozing, but a genuine interest in something that they're interested in. You can be interested in their interest into it and not into, like, somebody may be very interested into Buddhism. And I really do want to learn more about Buddhism. Am I going to change? Absolutely not. I'm Catholic. Okay. That's my faith. I get that. But it doesn't mean I'm not interested in what they're interested in. And I'm open to conversations because I value them. This is Database 101, and this is happening on a monthly basis. And there are 4 different calls that you should have that have real estate involved in them that show that you have interest in their long-term wealth. We're talking about retirement strategies, the perfect home, and obviously helping in anything. If you can master them. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
So George, I want to not put off what Michelle put into the chat. Michelle, this is what's so awesome. Okay. If you know your people well enough and their form of communication is texting, then text them still in the 5-step process. You can still do the same thing via text. However, this is what I will say. If you call people and they don't answer, leave them a voicemail if they have a voicemail that's set up. Text them right behind it. Say, I know you're probably at work, just left you a quick message. And behind that, put an email. Just wanted you to know that if there is anything that you need, because I saw on Facebook, kind of do the same thing that you would do in the conversation. Okay. So if that is your people's form of communication, use it. It must be a 2-way communication. They must respond in order for it to count as a conversation. 50 conversations a week equal a closing. And that is at average standards of agents, not exceptional. That is average numbers work. 2-way conversations. That's it. So Michelle, I did not want to negate what you had said, because I know that George has a tendency to pour into us. So now that he tag teamed me that we're doing this call together this morning, I appreciate you.
So I thank you very much for that and for catching it. I missed that. It was already beyond what I could see. To add some more numbers to this, what you're talking about, Claire, with 50 calls, let's say you're doing some other form of lead generation, which is going to be 25 or 50% of that. And your database is that. That's a database of 140 people that you speak to per month, which is 5 conversations a day. And that equates out to, with that 50, 1 closing per month. And that's if you're average. So the reason I say 2 lead generation forms is exactly for this reason. One of them takes roughly 45 minutes a day, every day. And if you're going to take the weekend off, which you're absolutely entitled to, but remember, you're not selling, you're making them feel good. It's a great call on a Saturday. I mean, imagine on a Saturday, Claire, say that you don't have to role play this one. Claire, saw your doc. Holy cow. That's crazy. What are you going to do? It's Saturday. I couldn't, I'm sorry to bother you on the weekend, but boy, I'm pretty sure you're going to be sitting out there today. It just looks too gorgeous not to watch. Blah, 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 blah. I do this on Saturday and Sunday as well, because I'm not calling about business. But if I decide to go away somewhere, like we're going away to Italy again, sorry, Tiff, 6th through the 19th, I'm out. I won't be here. Actually, to put it the 20th at that point, I won't be around the 20th either. So you know what to do, my friend. Did you get that, Tiffany? 6th through the 20th of June, I will not be here. Sorry, that's recorded. Y'all didn't need to hear that. Bottom line is, though, 5 calls. If I'm going away for a week, I got to double up. And for a couple of weeks beforehand, I'm going to have to call 10 people a day. Oh, darn, I still get them. And hey, let's say I missed them and I didn't get everybody. It's okay. There's 11 other times this year that I will get them. And it gives you some freedom. That's why it's so important to use the days of the month for your calls. What Claire was saying, back to that, is that if you make the calls, you talk to 5 people, 10 people a day, 50 people a week, you're going to get a closing. It doesn't matter if they're open houses, if they're expireds or withdrawals, if they're your database, It really doesn't. This is kind of averaged. Of course, it does a little bit, but it's averaged over the course of what has been studied by us for years. And when I say us, I mean the cumulative real estate community, not just Claire and I, although we've done our own studies. And it turns out that they're right.
It's
They're
about
exactly-
average. So 10 conversations leads you to an appointment. 50 conversations lead to a closing. So do your numbers and know how many lives you want to impact per year. Because I have come to realize that it's not about the money figure for most. Sometimes it's about how many people that they can serve. So if numbers are your thing, typically after 10 conversations, you've set an appointment of some sort, be it attraction, be it buyers, be it listings, be it a vendor. It's incredible. I reached out with my phone calls this week and sent out some emails behind it. And lo and behold, one of my vendors, one of my GCs reached out and said, Mama Claire, I need your help. I'm like, what's going on? He was like, well, I've been tasked to build 5 homes and we need to do it in a short amount of time. So the investors want to buy property and we're going to let you sell all the houses.
Boom.
Karen's shaking her head. She's like, what the hell? You know, so don't just, I mean, please understand the people in your database include other agents. It includes your vendors. It includes your preferred partners. Please have discussions with all of them. You never know where the opportunity is going to be. And if you're making sure that you're pouring into the lives that you're of maximum service to all of those people, the rewards and the results show up. Right, Desiree? Yes. Thumbs up. Right, Liz? Right, Tim?
Yeah, Liz says yes. I know her answer on that one. It's a definitive yes.
Yeah, I'm
All
just
right.
like the people that, you know, I mean, and that's the biggest thing that George pours into us is just take action. Take the efforts that are in your heart and turn those into actionable actions daily. And if you're consistent as what he is providing for us, the numbers show up. I was on a consultation yesterday, showed the pipeline. How do I know about my pipeline? Well, let's see. George gives us the opportunity to have people in our wheelhouse that there's coaching, there's grit, there's one-on-one coaching, there's training on all these morning calls. I mean, he gives us this awesome opportunity to not get shadowed by squirrels or shiny objects. Utilize them, place them in action where they work for your business plan. And if you don't have a business plan, you might want to set up a consultation with me so we can go over that and crystallize it for you.
Right on. Thank you, Claire. Folks, your database is part of your business. Don't ignore it. It is, in my opinion, the most important part because it is the longest sustainable and it works through any and all markets. It's 9:21. We can keep this recording. Tiffany, actually, why don't we kill the recording on this, turn this off, and for the next